So I, a 57-year-old male, have a daughter who is 30. Well, almost 31. In 2019, my daughter married her now husband, who is a bit older than her, but not much. He's 39. I begged her not to marry him, not because I don't like him, but because of his terror of a child. My daughter has a son with my son-in-law, and my son-in-law has a 13-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. The 13-year-old has made it almost impossible for my daughter to enjoy her baby. This child is incredibly dangerous, in my opinion, and before the major event that caused me to cut contact with her, there was always something she had going on. Last year, the 13-year-old stepchild told the school that my son, who is 22, sexually attacked her, and it started a chaotic situation with police interviews and other things. It quickly came out that she was lying because my son has a large burn scar that takes up the lower half of his body, and the stepchild couldn't identify it via photos. My son also volunteered for and passed a polygraph test. The psychologist who interviewed both my son and the stepchild deduced rather quickly that the stepchild was lying. When confronted, the stepchild admitted she was lying because she was angry my daughter wouldn't get her a laptop. We had a situation the Christmas before where I bought my daughter a gaming laptop, and my step-granddaughter wanted it. But her tantrum didn't work, so she decided to try and steal it, which also didn't work. I invited my daughter and grandson to Thanksgiving and told my son-in-law he was more than welcome to come, but his child was not. He said he understood. So my daughter, my grandson, and my son-in-law showed up on Thanksgiving Day. Everything was going well until we heard the front door open, and in walks the stepchild. Apparently, her mother had gotten wind that we were gathered at my house and decided the stepchild should be included. I met the stepchild in the foyer and told her she wasn't welcome in my home and needed to leave. She got smug, saying, "Well, my mom's already left, so..." and tried to push past me. I held my arms out and stopped her, telling her to get out now. I forced her back outside and told her she could wait by the mailbox while she called her mom to come get her. This child has never heard no more than a few times. I told my son-in-law he could do what he wanted as long as it didn't involve bringing her into my home. He went outside and came back in to tell us that apparently her mom thought we weren't allowed to gather unless it included the stepchild. Her mom ended up coming back to get her only when I called the police. I had her and her mother trespassed. Her mom pitched a fit, but the officers fully understood once I provided proof that this brat had lied about my son. Now everyone on my son-in-law's side is saying I'm the jerk for being mean to a child, but frankly, I'd prefer never to see her again. For context, stepchild was evaluated and examined by a psychologist and physician chosen by the police department. The child showed no sign of abuse. The psychologist said the stepchild is a danger to others and needs extensive help. She advised that we keep her away from our family. We tried to include her in our family, but she has made it almost impossible. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. I like your shiny spine. Never change. Not the idiot. But I assume this won't be the last incident. Call the cops every time if need be. Comment 2. Not the idiot. You are ensuring no further false accusations can be made against anyone else in the family. Keep fighting this fight. Comment 3. Imagine being 57 and having to deal with nonsense like this. Lol now for the update. I wish I had better news, but things have only deteriorated further. The fallout from the holiday incident has been like a shockwave through our family, and the consequences have been heartbreaking. Last week, we found out the step-granddaughter had been secretly harming her pets, which were discovered in a terrible state. The shock and pain of this revelation were immeasurable, as it not only confirmed the severity of her issues, but also raised serious questions about her mother's oversight. As tensions escalated, my daughter decided she could no longer manage the risk to her newborn with the step-granddaughter around. She's now filed for a restraining order, citing the safety of her child. This decision has fractured the family even more, with lines being drawn and sides being taken. And if that weren't enough, the strain on my own marriage has reached a breaking point. My wife has been caught between her granddaughter and the rest of the family, causing arguments that shake the walls of our house night after night. She's torn, wanting to support her granddaughter, but she's also devastated by the pain her actions have caused. The step-granddaughter's mother, my stepdaughter, has cut contact with most of us, further isolating the child from any positive influences we could have had. She's convinced we're all against them, and it's created a bunker mentality. I'm racked with guilt and sorrow. I keep questioning if excluding the step-granddaughter from Thanksgiving was the right thing to do, but then I see the turmoil that has followed, and I'm just lost. I can't help but feel responsible in some way for this chasm that's opened up in our family. And amidst all this, legal proceedings are being discussed. I never imagined we would end up here, contemplating courtrooms and custody battles, but the well-being of everyone involved has to be our priority. It's a mess, a truly sad mess, and I'm just trying to hold on to the slim hope that, in the end, we can find a way to heal and help this troubled young soul before it's too late. But right now, it seems like every step forward is met with 2 steps back. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. You're the idiot. Excluding your step-granddaughter from Thanksgiving because of her issues? That's when she needed family support the most. Troubled kids often act out because they feel misunderstood or neglected. Maybe if you'd shown some compassion and included her, you could have been a positive influence. Instead, you've possibly worsened her sense of isolation and rejection. Family is supposed to stick together, especially in tough times. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Protecting a newborn is top priority. And if that means getting a restraining order and keeping certain family members at a distance, so be it. It's a tough call, but sometimes you have to make hard decisions for the safety of the little ones. Plus, it's clear that the step-granddaughter needs professional help, not just a seat at the Thanksgiving table. Comment 3. Not the idiot. It's a sad situation, but you can't force someone to maintain contact if they've decided to cut ties. It sounds like you're in a no-win situation, trying to balance the well-being of the entire family. If the stepdaughter chose to isolate herself and the step-granddaughter, that was her decision, not yours. You're dealing with a lot, and guilt shouldn't be added to the pile. Stay strong and focus on those who are open to your help. Now for the next story. I'm 25 years old. My daughter is 4 years old. My daughter, Elle, was sitting with me, her dad, and her baby brother on the couch. This was on Thanksgiving. My sister-in-law came over with her kids and husband. She walked through the door and asked my daughter for a hug. Elle walked over to her and stopped dead in her tracks before saying, "You smell." I corrected my daughter and told her that wasn't nice and she should apologize. My daughter proceeded to say, "But Mommy, she smells like fish." My sister-in-law got angry and started yelling at my daughter about how she was being disrespectful. My daughter started crying, and I started yelling at my sister-in-law that she had no right to yell at my kids and that she should have talked to me about the issue instead of yelling at her. She proceeded to say, she should be punished for what she said. I told her I would not punish my child for saying what she did. Instead, I would talk to her about her actions. She then left, taking her kids, and called me a crazy bitch for not wanting to punish my child. My side of the family is saying that I'm not in the wrong, but my sister-in-law's side is saying that I should have punished her for her actions. Am I the idiot? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Send you sister-in-law and I'm sorry. Please accept this as a token of my apology. Note in a gift basket. Stock basket with shampoo, conditioner, body wash, douche, loofah, deodorant, etc. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Sounds like hygiene and interactions with children are not your sister-in-law's strong suits. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Sounds like she got embarrassed because she smells like fish. Now, for the update. After the incident, My sister-in-law went no contact with us, which initially seemed like a harsh but manageable outcome. But then, extended family got involved. What was a small dispute exploded into a divisive family feud. With each passing day, lines were drawn, and relatives felt they had to pick sides. My parents tried to mediate, suggesting family therapy, but were flat out refused. The stress of it all started to seep into every aspect of our lives. My daughter, once bubbly and sociable, became withdrawn, her teachers reporting that she was no longer engaging with classmates as before. She knew something was wrong and blamed herself for breaking the family apart. No amount of reassurance seemed to help. As the rift deepened, holiday plans were canceled. We had hoped to host a big Christmas gathering to heal and move forward, but that's off the table now. Instead, we spent the day alone, trying to muster holiday cheer in a house that felt too quiet. The hardest blow came just last week. My brother, who had been a rock throughout this, suffered a heart attack. The doctors say it was stress-related. Thankfully, he's stable now, but it was a stark reminder of the toll this is taking on all of us. My sister-in-law finally reached out, but the conversation was strained and full of blame. I've been second-guessing myself, wondering if standing up for my daughter was worth fracturing the family. I've started seeing a therapist to navigate this guilt and sadness. Meanwhile, we're trying to rebuild some sense of normalcy for the kids, but it's clear this ordeal has left its mark on our family. The loss and the what-ifs are heavy on my heart, and I dread what the coming months hold if we can't find a way to forgive and heal. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Protecting your daughter's mental well-being is your top priority. It's a shame that your sister-in-law couldn't see the bigger picture and allowed a dispute to escalate to this extent. Holidays are about family and understanding, not creating rifts. You did what any parent would do in prioritizing your child's emotional health over family drama. Hopefully, therapy will provide you with the tools to mend what's been broken. Comment 2. You're the idiot. I get that you're trying to look out for your daughter, but at what cost? Your brother had a heart attack, and it seems like you're not taking any responsibility for the role you played in this family feud. It takes two to tango, and it sounds like you could have done more to keep the peace. Now everyone is paying the price for a stubborn standoff. Comment 3. Not the idiot. It's not your job to cushion the blow for adults who can't deal with conflict maturely. Your sister-in-law cut off contact, not you, and you've been left to pick up the pieces. The fact that you're seeking therapy shows that you're willing to work on yourself for the sake of family harmony. Hang in there. You're doing the best you can in a tough situation. Now, for the next story. My 34-year-old husband and 32-year-old wife just had our first baby today. We were in the delivery room, all was going well, and I was holding her hand trying my best to be supportive. She was in pre-labor and was experiencing irregular contractions that she said weren't painful yet. I told her how much I loved her and that she was doing great, but made sure not to talk too much either. All of a sudden, my wife tells me to, please get out. I ask her what happened, and she says she just doesn't want me there right now. I stand there in surprise for several seconds, after which the midwife tells me to get out or she'll call security. I feel humiliated. Not only was I banned abruptly from watching my child's birth, but it was under the threat of force. Throughout our marriage, I've suspected that my wife wouldn't be with me if it wasn't for my job and family background. Her eyes don't light up when I come home from work. I start our long hugs and she ends them early. Her eyes wander when I'm talking to her. I don't think she loves me nearly as much as I love her. I'm not accusing her of being a gold digger. She may love me on some level, but I don't know that she has ever been in love with me. If I died tomorrow, I don't know if it would take her very long to move on. I live in a state where the right to an elective share is 25% of separate property. We don't have a prenup, so this means that my wife has a right to at least 25% of my separate property if I die, even if I were to disinherit her in my will. I've decided to will her 30% of my separate property, was previously 100%, and 100% of our communal property if I die. The rest of my separate property, including income-producing assets and heirlooms, goes to my children and other family members. Am I the idiot? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Ain't. Throughout our marriage, I've suspected that my wife wouldn't be with me if it wasn't for my job and family background. Her eyes don't light up when I come home from work. I start our long hugs, and she ends them early. Her eyes wander when I'm talking to her. I don't think she loves me nearly as much as I love her. Then why, for the love of God and all things good, would you decide to have a kid with a woman who you think doesn't even love you in the first place? Comment 2. You're the idiot. You are having a baby today, and you are on Reddit. And changing you will. Your wife is still bleeding, and you are having a tantrum about why she doesn't love me. All because she dared change her mind about having you in the room when she felt the excruciating pain of having a baby tearing apart her inside. And you have the freaking balls to say you love her. What a joke. Comment 3. Amazing that OP has the mental bandwidth to be strategizing like this on the actual day his first baby was born. Extremely petty and self-absorbed. Makes me wonder if he's on a completely different planet than his wife in general. Sounds like she was well within her right to demand space from him so she could focus on birthing a human. Yikes. Now, for the update. I never expected my last post to resonate with so many people, but reading through everyone's comments gave me a lot to think about. I took to heart the advice about communication and sought professional help to confront the issues in my marriage. Since then, my wife and I have started attending couples therapy. It's been a roller coaster, but we're finally getting to the root of our problems. I discovered that during the delivery, my wife was experiencing intense fear and panic, and she felt overwhelmed by my presence at that moment. Her reaction wasn't about our relationship, but about her needing space in a high-stress situation. We've worked through that day in detail, and she apologized for how things were handled, acknowledging that the way it was communicated to me was harsh and unfair. I've come to understand that her reaction was a response to a moment of acute stress and not reflective of her feelings for me. In one of our sessions, she broke down and confessed that she's been struggling with postpartum depression, which has been affecting her behavior and our communication. This revelation shed light on so many of our issues. It's been tough, but we're addressing it head-on, and she's getting the support she needs. As for the will, I haven't made any changes yet. I've come to realize that my decision was made from a place of hurt and insecurity, not from a rational or loving mindset. Our therapist is helping us rebuild trust and partnership, which has shown me that my initial reaction was more about my fears than our reality. Most importantly, we've been bonding with our child. Fatherhood is more incredible than I ever imagined, and my wife is an amazing mother. We've been taking turns caring for our baby, and during those quiet moments in the middle of the night, when it's just me and my child, I feel a sense of peace I didn't know was possible. All this to say, things are looking up. We still have our challenges, but we're facing them together. I'm learning that forgiveness and understanding can heal deeper wounds than I ever thought, and that sometimes the love you're questioning is still there. It just needs a chance to be rekindled. Now for the comments. Comment 1, not the idiot. Props to you for seeking help and not just throwing in the towel. It's not easy to admit when we've jumped the gun, especially regarding something as serious as your will. Sounds like you're taking responsibility and making amends. That's real growth. Keep nurturing that bond with your kiddo and the missus. Parenthood and marriage are marathons, not sprints. Good luck. Comment 2. You're the idiot for even considering changing your will out of hurt. Those initial feelings of insecurity shouldn't dictate permanent decisions. It's good you're working things out now, but that kind of spite could have had lasting consequences. Remember, mate, marriage is for better or for worse. Glad you're on the upswing, but you've got to think of your family first, not your bruised ego. Comment 3. Not the idiot for how you felt initially. It's natural to react strongly when hit with that level of stress. Major kudos for turning things around and getting into therapy. Dealing with postpartum depression is no joke, and it's great to hear you're both addressing it together. That's what marriage is about, overcoming these obstacles as a team. It's heartwarming to hear you're bonding with your little one. Keep up the good work, Dad. Now, for the next story. My husband passed away suddenly 6 months ago. We have wills, so I inherited his estate, like he would have inherited mine. A part of his estate is his inheritance from his mother, who passed away just a couple of months before him. A house, summer cottage, and some rentals. It amounts to a couple of $1 million. That would be divided between my husband and his sister. The sister is married and has 3 children. Now she wants me to sign off my husband's inheritance to her children because I'm basically not family anymore. And when I move on with my life, her family money would go to total strangers. I don't know. She hurt my feelings, making me not family just because I'm not properly married and also because we don't have children. But at the same time, yes, since my husband passed before me, our estate will go to my side of the family when I pass, including her family money. I offered to include her children in my will, but she got mad because it's her family money. The mother's estate isn't sorted out yet because of how fast everything went. The sister is only interested in my husband's share of the mother's estate. She believes my husband's estate is mine, as the will stated. I don't know. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. He chose to make you his beneficiary. You have no responsibility to give his sister his share. Sounds like she just wants all of mommy's stuff and found an easy way since bro passed away. I'm also very sorry for your loss. Comment 2. Not the idiot. I'm very sorry for your loss and the hurtful things that have been said to you. Please don't give your inheritance to his sister. It was meant for you, and you deserve it. Comment 3. I would definitely speak to an attorney. Since the mother's estate has not legally passed through inheritance to him, it may be a gray area. Get it clarified. Now, for the update, I want to share some unexpectedly heartwarming news with this incredible community that has supported me through some of the most trying times of my life. Last week, my late partner's sister invited me to meet for coffee, out of the blue. I was apprehensive, given our history, but I felt that it was important to go. We sat down, and the air was thick with unspoken words. Then she began to talk, and what unfolded over the next hour was nothing short of a miracle. She apologized. With tears in her eyes, she told me that grief had clouded her judgment and that she had let her fear and pain speak for her. She admitted that she had been unfair, and she didn't want to be the reason our families were torn apart. She told me she had spent a lot of time reflecting and recognized that I was family, just as much as anyone else. She also said her children missed me and asked about me often. We talked about my late partner, her brother, and shared stories and memories that made us both laugh and cry. In that moment, I felt the love he had for all of us, binding us together. She withdrew her demand for the estate and instead asked if we could find a way to honor his memory together. So, we came up with a beautiful plan. We decided to set up a small foundation in his name, using a portion of the estate. The foundation will support local arts programs for children, something he was always passionate about. We agreed that this way, his legacy would live on and positively impact the lives of many kids in our community. His sister's children will be involved in the foundation, which is a perfect way to include them and teach them about their uncle's values and kindness. The weight that lifted off my shoulders after that meeting was indescribable. The rest of the estate will be divided as per my partner's wishes, and his sister fully supports this. I've started to include her and her children in my life again, and it feels natural, like this is the way he would have wanted it. I never thought we could come back from the hurt and bitterness, but here we are. Sometimes life surprises you with a little bit of healing when you least expect it. Thank you all for your advice and kindness when I needed it most. Your words helped more than you know. Now for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. It's a mature and compassionate response to accept her apology and work together to honor your late partner. Grief can make people act out of character, and it's great that she acknowledged her mistakes. Plus, setting up a foundation in their name, that's a fantastic way to keep their legacy alive and benefit the community. It's a win-win situation and shows you both are healing. Comment 2. You're the idiot. It seems like you're conveniently leaving out what caused the initial tension. If there was uncertainty and tension for months, it's hard to believe it was all one-sided. Accepting an apology is one thing, but you've got to acknowledge your own part in the conflict to truly move forward. It's important to be transparent about these things, especially in a grieving process. Comment 3. Not the idiot. It's heartwarming to see you both coming together to do something positive in such a difficult time. Involving the children in the foundation not only honors your late partner, but also teaches the kids about charity and their uncle's values. You're respecting your partner's wishes regarding the estate and rebuilding family connections. Good on you for fostering healing and unity. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.